What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? We here. It's Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, year of our Lord. Yesterday was a busy day. For me in particular, I had to do 3 live streams, but all of them was wildly successful, and so I'm happy about that. Shout out to the Patreon members and the Bag Chasers. The Patreon members and the Bag Chasers, we did probably one of the most incredible live streams that we did in the history of the Bag Chasers themselves. Real talk, no exaggeration. Ask anybody that was there. Anybody that rewatched it, I put it up for y'all to rewatch it yesterday. After the live stream was over, I had to re-upload it right then and there. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. If you didn't get your money's worth, shame on you. Shame on you. It was 1,000% up there. Just telling you, man. Just telling you. It's too much money. Too much money. We deep dove into AI, the possibilities, what it costs, how you can leverage it. I gave several different examples from a business perspective, from a content creation perspective, from a corporate America perspective. I showed people how to develop an app using AI right then and there on the spot. Prompt engineering, told people and showed people exactly what the next technology jobs is going to be. Gave multiple different examples, did a real live demonstration of how you can leverage AI in order to get so much money and what the possibilities and where the industry is going. And everybody was there. Know that it was that. It was 1,000% slapping. 1,000% slapping. It was a very incredible live stream. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, even if you are a part of the Bag Chasers and you're just coming for the meetup this weekend, make sure you tap into the content and then join the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. All right. Shamara says, I'll definitely be going back to rewatch and take notes. It's crazy. It was incredible. Every day I discover new things and new ways to run up a bag using technology. Real talk. People had questions. I answered the questions live. And it was crazy. K. Cooper, you ain't got to talk about it. Just do it. Just leverage it. Just do it for yourself. Leverage it for yourself. You ain't gotta get no permission from your supervisor. It's incredible. It's crazy. Anyways, shout out to the Bag Chasers that was a part of the Patreon yesterday. The app creation was crazy, Pat, wasn't it? It was crazy. They don't know. They don't know. They so busy caught up on dick and pussy and whether or not they're going to be a bottom or a top that they don't even know they left from their right, and they can't even leverage the information that we giving them on a regular basis because they so caught up with women and men. They still asking what you bring to the table. They still asking what you bring to the table. It's so dumb. And I'm not saying that that's not a worthy conversation to have, but I'm saying on top of that, make sure you get that money too. Go get the money while you're asking what somebody brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you for holding me down on Cash App. Thank you, my friend, for contributing. Spencer Campbell, thank you, my friend, for tapping in. Says good morning. Good morning to you too, my friend. Cedric Johnson says this is to support the Millionaire Morning Show. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Sid, for holding me down. I appreciate you also. Let me read a couple of super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. Curtis Taylor says state charges against Diddy dropped. Fed charges are still pursued. Whisper of secret deals and a possible pardon. I'm watching it. I know the defense rested their case yesterday. You know what's going to hit the news like a wave, and as soon as it hit, I'm going to be on it, and that's one of the reasons why I live in the studio. You got to come and get it, baby. Shout out to Curtis Taylor. David Williams says, is there a way you can change the settings in Patreon to allow a video to play even when the phone screen is off? Video stop when the app closes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. So I have no idea. Probably not. I think that that's the YouTube premium thing. But I'm not sure. I've never seen that before. Gerald Sparrow says, can I get a birthday shout out? Happy birthday to Gerald, y'all. Happy birthday to Gerald. Almighty Black says, my favorite Mr. Clean. That's what y'all call me? Well, at least you ain't calling me Dusty. Call me anything, but don't call me Dusty and don't call me broke. And we good. We're good, you know? If you were there for after hours, Molly had her clavicles out and she had a ponytail. And I'm not going to say no names, but it was somebody before we started the live stream. And it was like, when she got on camera, they said, oh, shit. Can't believe Molly, what's going on over there? Look, she did. She looked good. Carrie looked good. Kim looked good. Everybody looked good. I threw the timestamps up this morning for y'all to go back and rewatch the After Hours live stream. It was a lot of information. A lot of stuff was going on. Myron Gaines pulled up. 2K pulled up. We had conversations about politics. White wives with black NBA players considering a championship. We had some controversy there. Had some controversy when it came to B. Simone. We deep dove into relationships. It was a lot. After Hours is popping. After Hours is popping. So if y'all not getting in early to tap in, she was looking good, right? If y'all not getting in early to tap in, then that's a problem. Carrie was fired too, and Kim be fired all the time. Got all of that. Got the chocolate, got the vanilla, and got the Neapolitan, got the strawberry. And then got the bonus flavors, caramels in there too. That's when Mika come on, but we're gonna talk about that later. Anyways, again, did you see that Carmelo Anthony was charged with first degree? I did see that he was charged with first degree. All right. Let's get into the show. Just a reminder, new rules. We don't acknowledge people that don't have a profile picture. We call those people hidden people. They're the hidden people. They're the ones that are under the stairs. The people under the stairs, the ones that crawl through the sewer in all of the movies. People with no profile picture, those is just the hidden people. We don't discriminate against you. We want you to stick around, contribute, continue to tap in, say whatever it is that you say. We know you subscribe because you got to subscribe in order to contribute into the conversation. But we don't acknowledge people with no profile picture. And it got to be a real profile picture. It can't be of your shoes like Malik and all of that stuff. We don't even pay attention to people with no profile pictures. So shout out to the people under the stairs. All right. I want to go into this real quick before we deep dive into the show. Yeah, we blind to them. We don't even see them. They don't even, like, we know they there, but they like nibble on your heels a little bit. I want to deep dive into this first. And you know, I've always started the show a little bit differently now. And so the way that I want to start the show is with this. I always want to have a conversation about what people are talking about online and what's happening in the culture. And this came across my timeline, and I said that it's important for me to share this with you guys. So I'm gonna play this video, and then I want to get y'all thoughts on it.
You know, I'm sitting here, man, in front of my job, heartbroken like a motherfucker. I raised my son, raising my boys to be stand-up men, to always do the right thing. Nobody's asking for perfection. As long as there's progress, then you're doing something right. So my son fuck up the other day, my 18-year-old, he'll be 19. He fuck up the other day, so I get on his ass. Tell him, you out here running the streets, man. You know what I mean? You ain't trying to do what you supposed to do as far as school starting in August. You say you wanted to go to Central State. You got accepted. What moves are you making to make sure that you go to college? But you out till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning doing shit you ain't got no business. So I'm gonna save you from yourself, son. So this your ultimatum. Grab one of these junior colleges that school start in August. Don't have to be Owens. Could have been any junior college that's here. Or you going to the military. I'm gonna save your life, yo. As your dad, I know what's out here. So I'm gonna save your life. I'm gonna get you away from this shit. Instead of my son talking to me, he writes me a letter and disappears at my house at 1, 2 o'clock this morning. I wake up, see the letter, immediately call him. Son, what the fuck is you doing? Why you leave? Man, Dad, you know, you gave me an ultimatum to either go to a junior college or go to the military, or I can go live with my mom. I said, yeah. Well, I chose to go live with my mom. I said, why? I want to follow my own path. I said, that's not following your path. That's not following the path, son. You finna start all over in the beginning, and now what? You ain't gonna have that same motivation that I'm giving you to get up and handle business. So I'm just on here talking to y'all because I'm heartbroken because I can't believe my young man not understanding what I'm trying to give him. And the fact that he did call his biological mom and she told him to come to her house further lets me understand that nobody's understanding what these young men need but us men. But nobody's hearing us. Nobody's hearing us. As soon as one of our babies get hurt, we on front line. It's crazy. I wish somebody talked to him and tell him the truth.
So I want to get y'all thoughts in the chat on what y'all think about what he just said. I want to get y'all thoughts in the chat on what your thoughts on what he just said. We try to tell y'all every day. We say it every single day that a woman cannot, and let me say it again for the people in the back. Y'all do great jobs in the nurturing. You do a phenomenal job with the daughters. And even in the daughter's case, there has to be a strong father presence inside of the household. But the fact of the matter is that you have to get on board with your child's parent, which is further proof of why it's so difficult to co-parent. I know a lot of people will say, yeah, you know, co-parenting, you can co-parent. You don't have to necessarily stay with the parent until you have a situation where she like, I can't have my baby out there. I can't do my baby, my baby, my baby. No, it's not the same. Only a man knows what a man is going to go through. And it is important for women to get on board. And you have to. I heard a woman say, and I think I did a review video on the Anton Daniels channel about it. I heard a woman say that in Iran, in Middle East countries, and they not all the same, but in Middle East countries and in Iran in particular, that after 7 years old, the man has complete control over the child and what happens with the child. And the woman literally has no say so, especially if they are to get divorced. She has no say in what happens in the son's life. And too many women, I see it every single day, are babying their sons. You want to know why Molly always say, it's a lot of sassy men out here and all of this stuff. And I somewhat echo that sentiment when we on after hours, is because the men that y'all are complaining about today are largely raised by their mothers. They are son husbands. They are tied to their mothers. They are mama's boys. They are emotional. They are broken. A lot of times they get caught up in the streets and mama don't let them suffer and go through it. And so their situation get exponentially worse. And this again is one of the reasons why you need two strong family parents inside of the household, because you need that balance. You need the balance of nurturing, and then you also need that man to help him to understand you're going to go through it and you're going to suffer if you don't make the right decision. And so at any time when you in the co-parenting situation, he can always call his mama. I'm calling my mama. I'm calling my mama. He can always call his mother. And his mother, not even her fault, it's just the way that she's made. His mother is going to then say, I can't let my baby be on the street. Come on over my house. And not only that, she gonna look at the father and say, what is you doing to my baby? Now he out in the streets at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you know ain't nothing happening at 5 o'clock in the morning except for crime and problems, especially when he hanging with the wrong crowd. And daddy is trying to save his life. It sounds like he's a decent father, and more guys honestly also need to consider joining the military, getting in the Navy, getting into the Air Force, all of that stuff too, because there's a lot of benefits that come along with it. But especially if you were raised by a single mother, you might need to go into the military. That's just the honest to God truth. You might need some stability. And unfortunately, most guys do not get themselves together until after or close to they starting to hit their 30s. Upper 20s, guys start considering it. Uh, Early 30s, that's when they really start getting their lives together. Most guys. If you start to get your life together before that, then you are ahead of the curve. But the reality is that they got to suffer. They have to suffer. And if they're not suffering in a controlled environment, being able to learn a lesson, if he can't suffer in his early 17, 18, 19 years old, and he going to be in the streets, and only take one phone call and the streets is going to take him over altogether. The streets is going to take him over. I had a cousin that I was really close with, and it was brother's, my mother brother's son. All right. So um, he was being raised by his father because his mother it was what it was. I don't want to get into that. But he was being raised by his father, and his mother was in California, and his father was a really great father, and he's a lawyer. He was a lawyer in Detroit. And he was being raised by his father, and his father was very, very hard. You know what I'm saying? Not hard like on him in particular, but was very disciplined because he came from a disciplined black background. And when I would go and spend a night over their house with him in his father's house, he had this big house, and it was in one of the prestigious neighborhoods in Detroit, and it had a big yard, and so we would have to rake all the leaves, and it was a lot of leaves, and we would just be raking leaves and raking leaves and raking leaves. And, it was just a part of the process. You had to learn to be a man. You had to learn to finish things and all of this stuff. And so the life lessons that he was teaching him, he had to stick with it. Now, I wasn't, thank God, this is a blessing, but I didn't have the opportunity to be able to run away and do what I wanted to do when I want to do it. You know why? Because I had two strong parents. Who was I going to run away to? I couldn't go to my mama's house because my mama and my dad was together. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I got pissed off at my mom, my dad was just right there to reinforce everything that was going on, and they stayed on the same page. And as I got older, I learned that the rule that they have, which is the same rule that I have for my daughter, is We don't divide ourselves against our child. The child can't go to me and then get something different from the mother. We gonna have to figure it out together, and then we gonna be one on one accord. It don't matter if we beefing. It don't matter if we have a difference of opinion. We gonna have to be on one accord. She can't turn me against her mother, and she can't turn her mother against me. And the hierarchy is if it's going beyond her mom, it stops with me. And so when you're together, right? And referencing back to this situation, him being able to run to his mama's house basically negates every single lesson that his father is teaching him. All of the discipline, all of the things that happens inside of that kid's life, it completely goes away because he can always go back to his mama. He can always go back to his mama. Long story short, so my cousin, he got mad at his father one day once he got older, and then he ran to his mama's house all the way in California. And I've told y'all this story. My cousin Reggie ran to, and we had a hand. My mother and my father had a hand in helping to raise him and stuff like that. Ran to his mama's house in California because his mama gave him a pathway to be able to be free and do what you want to do. He got caught up in the wrong stuff, and he wound up getting his back blew out, killed, doing something that he wasn't supposed to do. He wound up dying. My mother and my parents had to fly to California and go to his funeral. His father had to go to his funeral because his mother wouldn't back up his father, and he couldn't wait to run out there so that he could be free. And he got caught up with the wrong crowd thinking that he was getting money, and he wound up getting killed. And I remember right when he came back and visited, he came back to Detroit for a minute, and he had some money in his pocket, and he was stunting, and he started to be a little bit fresh. He had on some polo shirts. He had a little Coogee on the side and all of that. He had his hair cut, and he was like, yeah, Tom, I'm getting money out here in California. And I was like, word? Because I was younger than him. He was 2 to 3 years older than me. I said, word? I said, yeah, man, I'm getting money in California. Yup. I'm out here running this. I said, you running the streets? He said, yeah, I mean, I'm in the streets, but getting money out here in California. Wasn't even a month after he got back. Got his back blew out. Shot. Caught up in the streets. Wasn't worth it. Moral of the story is we need strong households. We need strong families. Strong households. I am a huge advocate for families. I'm a huge advocate, especially if you are having children, specifically for children. If you decide that you don't want to be together, then cool. But don't not be together, and don't just jump out the window and I'm not happy and this and that and so on and so forth if you got kids. The kids are going to pay for the sins of their parents. The kids are going to pay for the sins of their parents. All right? And that was a long time ago. It seems like Los Angeles is worse now. And it's hoods everywhere. It's hoods all across the board. So, anyways, I thought I'd start off with that. I thought that was an interesting story and an interesting conversation. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. There's one more thing that I want to bring to y'all purview before we deep dive into Trump, economic policy, people going broke, all of that stuff. Dewan says, good morning, AD. What do you think about the hardness in people nowadays? Was watching a video on a chick's husband with the corn addiction, and the comments were giving no grace, but I didn't look at the comments. What was the comment saying? Let me come and read the comments. What's the comments? What is the comments? All right, let's see. Comments are, the top comment is oh, wait a minute. First of all, let me update the title. Because I put the messed up title in there. Give me a second. So I kind of messed that up. I don't know how I did that. Lord Jesus. My husband won't touch me. All right. So let me read these comments real quick. See what's happening out in these streets. So, comments are so in the video, the woman basically says her husband has had a corn addiction. Replace the C with a P. And she's heartbroken, and it didn't get better until he started to go into recovery, and then he relapsed and whatever, so on and so forth. And so it's problematic in a situation, so on and so forth. So I said that is something that is, heartbreaking. He needs to get that together. Nobody should have to deal with that, so on and so forth, and whatever. If they don't have kids, it's okay for her to leave. Last comment 6 seconds ago says her S gotta be trash, bro. Ain't no way. Get a divorce or deal with it. You married him, your choice. Stay single, fellas. It's not worth it. It's laughable when Anton is saying people like Anton encourage porn. How do I encourage? What? People like Anton encourage porn. Don't worry, it's healthy. Internet made it accessible as a kid. I have never said that before in my life. What are you talking about? I have never. I say that I don't believe in jerking off. I don't believe in masturbation at all. How did I ever say that? Okay, so now y'all just putting words in my mouth. Now that he's in recovery, I'll have to watch out for him just replacing it with something else. A lot of times they just trade one addiction for the other. Nasty work. She's pretty, but her voice is annoying. If she's in the Phoenix area and needs to get stretched out, I can help her. In my opinion, you don't leave the marriage because your partner has an addiction. You should first try to help them overcome it. Well, she's been trying to help them for years. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. We broken. We're broken. We're broken. We're broken. I think that people are demons, and there's nothing I could do about that. The only thing I could do is try to have a conversation and honesty, and try to help people become a better version of themselves. But yeah, I mean, you can't victim shame. If he is having a problem, you can't then say that it's somehow the woman's fault as a result of it. That's stupid. So I'm not even gonna entertain it. I'm not gonna entertain it, bro. I'm not even gonna entertain it. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, y'all can see what y'all dealing with. So I give her grace. I give her grace. I think that that's a him problem. Issa Welder says, no lie, I got some box off my profile picture. Shout out to you, Issa Welder. Jesus, Lord have mercy. They call me Mr. Bibb says, I know I don't have a picture, but I still support you. Hey, I read super chats though. Mike Lee says, Anton, regarding last night's AI stream, it was brilliant, interesting, and fascinating. Thanks for demonstrating some of the capabilities. Shout out to all of the bag chasers and the Patreon members that was a part of the live stream last night. It was absolutely awesome. If y'all want to tap into the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Facts. I agree with the ladies in the chat right here. It is crazy. It is crazy. Nobody should have to deal with a person that is having a corn addiction for years and inability to be able to get it up. And the girl wasn't even bad looking. The girl was decent looking. She was really decent looking, and she seemed like a nice person. She didn't say that they had kids or anything like that. She said since the very beginning of their marriage, since they got married, he uncovered that he had a hidden corn addiction. And even when she dressed up and she tried to get spicy for him and she do foreplay all day, he just come in and be like, "Oh, I'm good." And he admitted that it's just because he be jerking off all day. What do you mean? How's that her fault? Everything is not a woman's fault. All right? Everything is not a woman's fault. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Um, I don't even believe in that. I don't believe in it at all. I don't believe in watching. I don't believe in any of that because I think that it desensitizes you and it drives you down a path that's not beneficial for you at all. Got to have some discipline. Anyways, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Let's deep dive. One more thing that I wanted to get into before we got into the show. I had to cover this one because this was too diabolical, y'all.
Just end him. That was the goal of a group of 10 and 11-year-old girls who surprise police say wanted to kill a boy at school. The motive? He's accused of cheating on one of them, so she wants him dead. The murder plot was simple. According to the police report, 4 fifth-grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. And each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife, another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life, and someone would act as a lookout while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves.
These are 5th graders, y'all. This sounds like something that out of a Lifetime movie that grown folks is doing. These are 5th graders. These are not like 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, women that are bitter at their husband and all of this stuff. These are 5th graders. This is a real thing. Plotting to kill somebody for cheating and then creating a suicide note to make it seem like that they killed themselves and talking about fingerprints and gloves and knives. Dog, honestly, I don't even usually review like random stuff. Dog, I seen this come down my timeline and I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell is going on? 5th graders. Bro, look. First of all, I believe that their households, every last one of them needs to be investigated. You need to figure out what the hell is going on in these households. That's number one. Number two, the culture has taught them this. It's in our movies. It's in our music. It's in the things that's going on that they observe and that they take in on a regular basis every single day. You have to be careful. You have to be vigilant. Man, stuff like that is one of the reasons. Stuff like this is one of the reasons why I considered not even having a child, because everything is too accessible. We desensitized. They talking about coming up with murder plots. Dog, in the 5th grade, now in the 6th, 7th grade, I had started turning a little bit dark. But in the 5th grade, I'm not even sure that I was strong enough to throw the basketball in the hoop the way that I wanted to. So I was doing it underhanded. We was riding bikes, playing tag. How old are you in the 5th grade? Like 10 years old or something like that? 10, 11 years old? 9, 10 years old? What the hell is wrong with these 5th graders? Talking about working on a murder plot. A murder plot. And here's the worst part about it. It's 5th grade girls. Fifth grade girls. What a murder plot. And remember, they're doing this because they think that the little boy cheated. Check it out.
Stab him and wants him dead. Girls who surprise police say wanted to kill a boy at school. The motive? He's accused of cheating on one of them. She wants him dead. The murder plot was simple. According to the police report, 4 fifth-grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise...
Look how nice that school is. Look at the environment that school is in. This ain't even in the hood or nothing like that. This is the legacy traditional schools.
Campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. And each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife, another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life, and someone would act as a lookout while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves. Documents say the friends came up with the plan during lunch and recess on October 1st. Legacy administrators worked with the school resource officer to investigate when students who overheard the plot came forward. The next day, their backpacks were searched and the suspects were individually questioned with their parents present. All 4 children were then arrested for threatening and disorderly conduct misdemeanor charges. The police report says 3 of the students showed remorse, but the 4th would smile and laugh while making excuses for their actions.
That's a demon. That's a demon. No. I don't really know if you know that is a real life demon. That is a demon that's in that school. And I almost can guarantee you that their parents are probably justifying it and protecting them and all of this other stuff. That is a real life demon. Fifth graders. Are we like, is it different now? Is everything a completely different conversation? Are things different now to where now the children and now the parents are able to do something or doing something? Is it an overconsumption of social media? Is social media to blame, or is it the culture? What is it? Is it all together? What is going on? What are we doing, y'all? Honestly. And I'm curious because I want to know and I'm trying to understand what the culture is teaching people and why people think that it's okay for these fifth graders and why we make excuses for them. These are future serial killers. And one of them was just laughing. Ain't even tripping about it. Rush King says, 80, this has been happening. Where? Where has it been happening at? Keita says it's everywhere. Yep, go get my belt. Got to perform an exorcism. Yeah, the belt would get that devil. Drive it far from thee. My grandpa told me it gets worse each generation. I believe it's the world's hatred towards men. I did my son the same way. Satan is influential. Lack of parenting. Spare the rod, spoil the child. It's the music. Technology is always a downfall of humanity. So basically, y'all saying just cover y'all eyes. What people are basically telling me with this whole situation is that what's that that movie where everybody had to cover their face in order for anybody to survive. What is the name of that movie where everybody had to basically cover their face? How is it not new, Edward? How is it not new? Help me to understand how this is not a new thing. I've never heard of fifth graders plotting to kill somebody and they all working together. I've never heard, I've heard of high school girls that's doing dumb stuff. I've never heard of fifth graders doing dumb stuff like this ever in my life. How is this not a thing? How are y'all trying to convince me that this is normal and this is not something that's abnormal and this has just always been a part of it? I don't believe y'all. Ain't no way in the world that I believe y'all. Bird Box? Yeah, we just basically got to be Bird Box. No consuming of information, no seeing nothing, no cultural nothing, no nothing. Just everybody just go away. Everybody go away. That's what I'm basically hearing, is that everything is Bird Box now. So, yeah, I thought that would be interesting for us to have a conversation about. Let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to get over to Trump and NATO. All right? 392Q says, been watching How to Get Away with Murder with their moms and that's been cheated on. Ain't no way. I think that they be overhearing the conversations of their parents. Dr. Ingram says we need to focus more on traditional parenting programs in our community. These new parents are lost with evil culture vultures. Manuel AG says she was probably the one that came up with the whole thing. This is bad. This is absolutely bad. Maybe some of y'all need to turn y'all children in. If y'all children was plotting to do something crazy, would y'all turn them in? That's a real question that y'all need to ponder. All right, y'all, let's get into this whole Trump NATO thing real quick, all right? Let's deep dive into it. So as Trump was jumping on the plane yesterday, and that's when he was actually cursing out Israel and Iran for breaking the ceasefire initially, but the ceasefire has been holding so far. I had Myron Gaines on the platform on After Hours last night, and he came in and he dropped a lot of insight on why he does not believe that the ceasefire will hold, that there will not be peace between Iran and Israel going forward long term. And with the backdoor insight as to the real reasons why there's conflict between Iran and Israel. And then he tied it into Saddam Hussein and all of that. So if y'all want to go and do that, the timestamps is on After Hours. You can go back and watch that. But as Trump was cursing out Israel and Iran on live TV, and he was telling CNN that they were the scum of the earth, but he was on his way to jump in the military or to jump in a helicopter in order to head over to NATO. All right, so he was going over to a NATO meeting, and one of the things that they were able to secure is an alliance with NATO that also increased military spending. Let's deep dive into it, y'all.
Over the past 2 days, I was honored to participate in the NATO leaders meeting and also had extremely good individual discussions with the King and the Queen, Secretary General Rutte, and the Prime Minister. Great discussions. Very knowledgeable people. Major focus of our conversations at the summit was the need for other NATO members to take up the burden of the defense of Europe, and that included the financial burden. As you know, it was 2%, and we got it up to 5%. And they said, a couple of them came up to me, one in particular said, "Sir, we've been trying to get it up to 3% for 20 years, and we haven't been able, and you got it up to 5%. So they're going to be, most of them, I guess almost all of them are going to be.
Hey, Trump is never going to waste an opportunity to make sure that he praise himself about being a great deal maker. You know what? They said that they was trying to get it from 2% to 3% for all of these years. They said that you got it up to 5%. We've never seen anything like it. It's impressive. It's incredible. You're the greatest in the go. We've never seen anything like it. In 20 minutes, you stepped in and you got it up to 5%. You had NATO increasing their spending on military up to 5%. We've been trying to do it for decades. How did you do it, Trump? Now, I will give him his credit, and I'm going to give him his praise. But at the same time, I don't think that he's waiting for it. I think that he gonna get his own credit. He'd be like, listen, we've done things the likes of which has never been seen before, hitherto unaware. This is incredible what we got going on here. I've never seen anything like it. This has never happened in our lifetime. Absolutely the greatest victory, and the bombs are happening everywhere, and it just completely obliterated everything. And I just can't believe what we were able to accomplish. This peace deal will last for years. And look at what we've accomplished in 6 months. Trump has no problem making sure that he celebrates himself and ensures that he get all of the credit, 100%.
Be contributing now 5%.
Breadman says, well, you got a profile picture, so I'm gonna read your chat. Breadman says, AD, you never miss a moment to praise yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Facts. Oh, I didn't say it was a bad thing. I didn't say it was a bad thing at any point. All right, well, let's look at it from this lens. Fellas, don't sit here and complain to me. Don't sit here and complain to me and say, oh, Anton, I never get acknowledged. What do you think that we should do about these women that only got us a tie for Christmas? And they never acknowledge Father's Day. And Mother's Day is all for the women, and Father's Day are for the men, but they never want to talk about Father's Day, and they never want to do any of that type of stuff. Don't come to me then. Don't come to me worried about whether or not you're going to get your praise. Because let me tell you something. The one thing that I've learned about life is that you can't sit there and wait for nobody to give you your credit. You got to go and get that yourself. You can't wait for nobody to come and give you your credit. You got to go. Because, and another thing, they always talking about, oh man, if you doing it, then just be silent about it. No. Because if I do something wrong, you're going to scream to the mountaintop. See, look at what he did, y'all. I knew it. Nope. Yep, I give out $5,000 a week to homeless people because I pay my tax to the streets. Oh, no, you have to be quiet about that. Why I got to be quiet about the things that I did good? So we can let people scream up to the mountaintops about stuff that they did bad, and we going to have whole conversations about it. But we supposed to be quiet as a church mouse about the things that we did well. No, let's get all of our praise. Let's get all of our praise. Praise be to him that do things right.
A number that people are surprised at, but you need it today. The United States accounts for 2/3 of all NATO defense spending. And since I began pushing for additional commitments in 2017, believe it or not, our allies have increased.
Never give yourself credit. Wait for everybody else to do it. Use a lie. I'm the greatest of all time. I don't know what you're saying. And not only that, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. You can manifest your blessings like that. You absolutely manifest success by talking about how great you have been and what you're going to do.
Ending by $700 billion. I said to people, you don't have any money, and a lot of them weren't paying. And so I started the process, and I picked it up as soon as I got back, which is 6 months ago. And following my election last November, almost all have accelerated plans to reach the 2%, 3%, 4%, and then ultimately, very quickly, 5%. And all of this is going to be done very quickly, almost immediately. You probably know this as well as I do. I'm sure they've been talking about it. It's really been a big focus. In a very historic milestone this week, the NATO allies committed to dramatically increase their defense spending to that 5% of GDP, something that no one really thought possible. And they said, you did it, sir, you did it. Well, I don't know if I did it, but I think I did. This will be known as the Hague Defense Commitment, which is pretty good.
And they kept saying to me, you did it. He said, I don't know if I did, but I think I did. That's what I'm going to say. When I get home today, I'm expecting for trumpets, crumpets, teacups, and a parade to be waiting on me when I get home today. When I get home today, I am expecting greatness. Yo, listen, y'all going to have to start being honest about what you want. Tell her what you want. Don't sit there and be modest about it. Say it. You know what? Kim said something the other day, and I thought that it was pretty funny. Kim on After Hours. She said, Anton, I think you got a praise kink. I said, a praise kink? What is a praise kink? I don't even know what that is, but it sounds very, very good. It sounds like something that I would want to be a part of. She said, I think you got a praise kink, Anton. I ain't never heard of that before. She said, you get off on women making sure that they praise you and say how great you are. I said, okay, well, but I don't want them to lie to me. I just want them to tell me the truth, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for real.
It's pretty appropriate. When the allies reach this number, it will add more than $1 trillion a year. Think of that, $1 trillion per year to our common defense. And this is a monument really to victory, but it's a monumental win for the United States because we were carrying much more than our fair share. It was quite unfair, actually.
Most of the things that we've been complaining about, Trump has been solving for. So before he got into office his second time, and this is something that we actually complained about when Biden was in office, is we've complained that we've been the ones that have basically been contributing into NATO. We've been paying the majority of what goes into it. And Trump was one of the first people that said, you know what? I think that we're about to pull out of NATO. He said, I think that we're about to pull out. He says, we are contributing too much money into this, and we're not getting back anything that came along with it. And then obviously we also know that trade deals, and that affects everything. That could break your relationship. If you are the one that is contributing the majority into the pot, but you're not getting any kind of reciprocation that you think is of value, then it's like, why am I here? I'm better off if I'm the one that's paying for the majority of what happens here. I am better off by myself. And so when Trump threatened to pull out, and unless they actually contributed their fair share, unless they upped the amount that they were contributing into NATO, then everybody wanted to get on board. But it's not until you're ready to walk away. You got to be ready to walk away. And any negotiating tactic, even when you are doing something at work, right? If you go, you know why? Do you know why women don't make as much as men in corporate America at the top? Because they're not willing to walk away. They're scared to ask for a raise. They don't know how. They're waiting on somebody to come and give them something. They don't know how to say what they want. They don't know how to ask for what they want. It's the honest to God truth. But you have to be in a position to walk away. You can't just walk away and be broke. You have to be able to walk away. And so every time that I've actually made a proposal, or I went in and said, you know what, I need this amount, or I'm going to leave, I already had something else lined up just in case. I wasn't going in unless I already had an offer letter. And the chances are I was going to leave and go to that other place unless they made it way worth my while. And then they came back and said, you know what, can I see the offer letter? And sometimes I would say, nope. And then other times I would say, yep. And I wouldn't let them have it, but I would just let them see it. And that is one of the ways in which I negotiated my pay package. But women are absolutely scared to ask for what they want, which is why I would have no confidence. I would have zero confidence in Kamala Harris being president of the United States of America. One of the things that we were talking about last night is, or it wasn't last night, but I believe it was Monday night. And I said, what do y'all think would have happened if Kamala Harris was in office? Disaster. Disaster. No negotiations, no tactics, no ability to be able to walk away, no willingness to be able to stand tall. That's why we've been funding all of this agenda and this propaganda and USAID and all of this stuff and been sending money over to these places all the time. But this is the art of the deal. This is the art of negotiation. And Trump is absolutely commanding the respect of everybody outside of the United States of America, including those that are a part of NATO.
Turning now to some breaking news as we continue to follow all of the developments out of the NATO summit in the Netherlands. Taking a look here at a post from the Associated Press, it says breaking: NATO leaders agreed on a massive hike in defense spending after pressure from President Trump. I want to bring us out to some images that we had earlier on today. This was President Trump meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte early on this Wednesday. And the Associated Press here saying that NATO leaders agreed Wednesday on a massive hike in defense spending after pressure from President Trump and expressed their, quote, ironclad commitment to come to each other's aid if attacked. The 32 leaders endorsed a final summit statement saying, quote, allies commit to invest 5% of GDP annually on core defense requirements, as well as defense and security related spending by 2035 to ensure our individual and collective obligations. Spain had already officially announced that it cannot meet the target, and others have voiced reservations. But the investment pledge includes a review of spending in 2029 to monitor progress and reassess the security threat posed by Russia. The leaders also underlined their ironclad commitment to NATO's collective security guarantee, saying, quote, that an attack on one is an attack on all. Ahead of the summit, President Trump had again raised doubts over whether the United States would defend its allies. But there we did just want to bring that breaking news again, heading back out to this post from the AP, that NATO leaders have agreed on a massive hike in defense spending after that pressure from the U.S. president. We are expecting to have some more live commentary from the president later on this morning as we continue to track everything having to do here at the NATO summit. In the meantime, let's head back out to this NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte continuing to take questions from the press.
Fair, and er is the need because of Russia and others.
All right. The woman in the third row over on the left side here.
Natalia Robb, the new voice of Ukraine. Secretary General, you have stated that this year Canadians and Europeans have pledged 35 billion into military support to Ukraine, and this is not even the half of the year. In your opinion, what should be expenditure for Ukraine at the end of the year? And what amount of military aid to Ukraine could help Ukraine to win the war, not just survive?
Well, on the first question, it's difficult for me to exactly predict, but you can safely assume as the trajectory in the first almost 6 months now is really north of the trajectory last year, that also by the end of the year it will end up north of the over 50 billion which was pledged in 2024. So I'm positive about that, optimistic, but I'm not going to make a concrete prediction. But we can safely assume that the end result will be positive. And of course, what we are doing here, we have to make sure that Ukraine can stay in the fight, that Ukraine has what it needs to be as strong as possible. But obviously, we are all also working on getting a peace deal done or a long-term ceasefire done. And then we have to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to prevent Vladimir Putin from ever trying this again in the future. And the first layer of that, making sure...
Yeah, I hear y'all saying that he called Trump daddy. I seen those headlines too. Let me find that too.
Ukraine can defend itself post a peace deal / a long-term ceasefire, obviously is also the support we are now providing to keep them in the fight, which has to do, of course, with training. It has to do with delivering military equipment, so the command in Wiesbaden, but also the various streams of money going into Ukraine, developing Ukrainians' defense industrial base, which still has about a 35 billion spare capacity.
Hello. Deborah Haynes from Sky News. Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of...
Why is Mark Rubio laughing in the background? Why Mark Rubio can't hold back his laugh? Look at Mark Rubio.
Do you regard your... Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your...
Oh, I gotta hear this answer.
NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No?
But he
did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO...
Did he call him daddy?
...allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that. But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own without...
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning, and I think they'll be able to. And I think they're going to remember this day. And this is a big day for NATO. You know, this was a very big day. They took it. One of the gentlemen said, you know what? We've been trying to raise money raise the rate.
That's what you call Trump?
For 30 years, he said, 20 years, from almost the beginning. And he's been there for a long time. He said, until you came along, it never happened. What you did is amazing. It's been sort of an amazing day for a lot of reasons, but also for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think they can do it without you, though, in the future? Can they do it without the United States?
I mean, you have to ask Mark.
Did he call him daddy? Yo, shout out to Trump, bro. Shout out to Trump. Shout out to Trump. Carrie Ferry, what you mean? What you mean? Carrie Ferry, let me tell you something, baby girl. Let me tell the ladies this, all right? Now, I don't know about other men calling men daddy. That's something different, all right? But, ladies, for y'all that's listening to this show, I want y'all to understand something. Y'all got too much ego. If you want something, I need to have a wife school. I honestly do need to have a wife school. Real talk. Because y'all not getting it. Y'all not getting it. If you want something out of your man, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to humble yourself and you're going to have to exalt him. It's going to be hard at first because you're not used to it. You're so used to men just doing what you want to do or whatever. Call him whatever it is that you need to call him to get what you need to be able to survive and do what you got to do, baby girl. Y'all got ego. Y'all got ego. 100%. If the guy can't walk in the house and then you say, "Hey, daddy, what's going on? Oh my God, you was so great, man. I was watching you." Blah, 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 so on and so forth. For y'all guys that's out here content creation and all of this stuff, I don't care if you got 10 viewers. I don't care if you got 100 viewers, 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, whatever, right? If you don't get offline and then she not calling you as soon as you get off and saying, "Oh, I loved your show. Oh my God, that was so great that what you was doing." And that doesn't mean that she can't also add some context. But if they don't look at you like, "Oh man, you are the greatest of all time," I don't want you, bro. Honest to God. And maybe I'm just different. But if you're not in awe of me, I'm gonna be like, "What's wrong with you?" Because I don't want nothing that ain't in an absolute amazement at what I've achieved. You know what I'm saying? My numbers be going up. I had crossed 600,000 subscribers, I think, on the Anton Daniels channel like a week ago. I don't even be paying attention. "Oh my God, look at you. I need to praise you. Look at how great you are." I'll be like, "Okay, I see you need a new handbag today, huh?" Get you a new car. You want a new car? You want a trip? Where you want to go? You know, y'all think that y'all can bully us. That's not the way. That's not the way. If you, ladies, you don't have to fight a war. You don't have to go on TikTok and talk nonsense. You don't have to go and say, "I got a story time." If you want a guy to do something, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. It ain't hard. It's not hard. You know what you got to do. Look at I sure don't even. I forgot. We don't acknowledge people with no profile photos. I'm sorry. You know what you got to do. And don't just have the praise be verbal. What my man say on the song? Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. You thought that was a dance that he was talking about. That's not what he was talking about. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the flow? Now that song is going to hit different. You thought it was just about you dancing, huh? One time, right foot, left stomp. Left foot, left stomp. You thought that that's what it was about? No. He said, "How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the flow?" No, you got pride. That's why you broke. Women with pride are broke. That's what I've learned. Women with pride are broke. They got to go out there and hustle. You ever seen these strong, independent women? You know why their hair is so frazzled? You know why their edges are gone? Do you know why it's so difficult for them to get a man to be able? Because they want a partner. Women that want a partner, they dusty, they broke, they're broken. It's difficult for them to be able to have certain conversations. The whole 9 yards. Women with pride, women that ain't gonna do it, I ain't gonna do it. Always got that Altima with the bumper missing. Women that ain't got no pride. "Hey, daddy." Rat, black truck. Everything you do. You going somewhere? Black truck. What hotel you staying at? Penthouse. No. She don't touch doors. That one don't touch doors. She is royalty. Royalty don't have pride. I'm trying to tell you, if you want to understand whether or not a woman is successful and you want to know if she's well taken care of, all you got to do is talk to her. As soon as she do that neck twist, oh, that's That's a sassy one over there. She gonna have to go ahead and suffer through it. Let her go ahead and do her 3 jobs. She gonna go at the Dollar Tree, then she gotta go to Wendy's, and then she gotta go to her regular job. Now she gotta come and pick me up from Uber because she ain't gonna let no man tell her what to do. And I just be laughing at you. Ah! Now you doing Uber, gig work all night. Now you got to do Uber and gig work all night. How that feel? We will go out of our way and die for a woman that is awesome, for a woman that has her femininity in check and is really getting to it and all of that stuff. We will put our lives on the line for those type of women. But the other women, what you do for me? You know what? Hey, security, get that one out of here immediately. We don't want to talk to her. We don't want to have no conversations. Just get her gone. Get her gone. Get that one gone. The one with the mouth, get her gone. And tell her to have my fries hot when I get to the restaurant later on today. Got time for that. Want to know why women submit so much? Is because they ain't got nothing to worry about. Me University says the pat your own back resonate with them finally. We got to get to that bag, man. We got to get that bag. Only people that's disliking that last segment, because I see y'all. I got 3 dislikes. Only people disliking that last segment is the ones that's out here doing gig work. Jamaica says, Wagwan AD, salute to you for helping me not be a step crash dummy. After cutting that off, I treated myself to a small pistol sneakers or Dairy Queen in your honor. Don't forget me with the black shirt link. Got you. Carrington Love Jr. says, where the merch at, Anton? I need a hat that says Ton Dog. Man, listen, bro. Mr. Lott said, if she not giving me that energy, another man's getting it. Somebody getting it. It just ain't us. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't you. Somebody's getting it. Anyways, how low can you go? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got to move on, y'all. We got to get to the next segment of the show. Now, I was very surprised. That a vice mayor would call on gang members to defend against ICE. But it's a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing. I'm not lying to you. I'm going to bring you up to speed on it. Check it out as what's happening out here in California, y'all.
I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all...
The vice mayor of Cudahy is under federal investigation tonight for this controversial video obtained exclusively by Fox News.
In it, she appears to call several times for local gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
Fox 7's Matthew Seedorf joins us now live from Cudahy with the shocking video. Matthew.
Yeah, the vice mayor today not answering any of our text calls or emails as her video gains national attention.
Whoever's the leadership over there, just get your members in order.
An explosive TikTok video now the center of a possible FBI investigation in LA County.
Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now.
For about 90 seconds, City of Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez calls on gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
The controversial video was shared last week in a...
I just found it. I'm about to pull it up on the screen. We gotta address this. I just found it.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at? Bien calladitos, todos los chulitos. I'm like, dude, they're running amok all up on your streets and in your city. and peep. When the big gang guns come in, nothing but like quiet, and we're out here, the regular ones that have never been jumped in, out here calling things out trying to organize people, trying to do the thing. So don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing. If you're not showing up right now, trying to like help out and organize, I don't want to hear a peep out of you once they're gone, trying to claim that this is my block. This was not your block. You weren't even here helping out. So whoever's the leadership over there, just fucking get your members in order.
A vice mayor is speaking to gang members and saying that they need to organize against ICE. Do y'all see why it's important for us to not to okay, let me revise that. Do y'all see why it's important for us to gatekeep the United States of America? Honestly, do you see why now it's important for us to gatekeep? Why we can't let everybody just be able to come over here and say and do what they want? Now, this is a vice mayor. This is a person that is actually a part of a legislative branch. This is a person that's a part of an office. This is a person that helps determine where the budget in the city and the money goes and the laws and all of this other stuff. And this is a person that is in leadership. And y'all just let anybody just come over here and say and do what they want. I look at her no different than I look at all of these treasonous people in the United States of America that stood with Iran. You don't have to necessarily agree with Israel, but I ain't no way in hell that I'm ever going to say that I support Iran. Iran? People are saying I stand with Iran. Not that they made a smart decision on this, or not that they could do that. Or no, they say that I stand with Iran. I said, what in the hell is going on in the United States of America? Honestly, I just can't believe the amount of people that are so treasonous. I remember when there was an assassination attempt against Trump on his life, and people were happy and celebrated. I seen women that were sitting there celebrating the possibility that a former president at the time, an election candidate, and the person that ultimately was going to become the president of the United States of America, for their own selfish reasons, was excited and elated at the possibility of Trump being assassinated. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And now they're calling on gang members. Ignore the fact that they know that gang members actually exist in their own communities, in their own neighborhoods. Let's ignore that all completely. Let's just have the conversation based off of why we should support gang members in the first place. Why are you allowing for gang activity to take place on these blocks? Why is that not eradicated? And why are we not trying to fix our own neighborhoods? And why do we get to the point to where you're sitting there saying that they need to make sure that they go against actual real officers and federal employees that represent the United States of America, and they saying that the gang members need to defend against immigrations and customs? Sierra, you said they still calling for his assassination. Facts. Facts. What's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Sylvia says that Chicago Mayor Johnson always calls the community to stand against ICE. Listen, let me just be very frank on what I believe against Chicago Mayor. I believe that Brandon Johnson could quite possibly, surely is a plant. If there's anybody that's a plant, I know that y'all always think that plants come in the form of, I'm not talking about the ones that grow. I'm talking about the ones that are sat there to keep you under duress. I know that y'all think that plants a lot of times come from, that they don't look like us and all of this stuff. They absolutely do. They 100% do. Did y'all see what happened in the primary over there in New York? We'll talk about it the next segment. We'll talk about it. I didn't even plan on talking about the primary in New York, but we could talk about it in the next segment. I believe that Brandon Johnson is a plant, 100%. You can't have somebody come here become the mayor of Chicago and then allocate billions of dollars towards illegal migrants and then be able to justify it saying that no, crime is down. No, it's not. It's underreported. It's underreported. I believe that it's a lot of plants. I believe that Al Sharpton is a plant. I believe that Roland Martin is a plant. I believe that Brandon Johnson is a plant. I believe that Jasmine Crockett and her big eyelashes is a plant. I believe that all of these people are plants. And if they not, then they just so ignorant and we're so dumb for continuing to support them. And it's just stupid, bro. It's stupid. Have y'all seen what's happening in New York?
Since been deleted, along with these Facebook posts obtained by Fox before they were also taken down. The vice mayor writing, "I need a lawyer. The FBI just came to my house," saying it was about a TikTok video that I made that went viral, literally a TikTok, adding she believes this is a First Amendment rights issue.
And they're using our brown bodies to avoid the conversation that this administration is a failure.
Gonzalez seen earlier this month at a press conference with LA area mayors.
She's a personal friend. I know her, and I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
Nearby Huntington Park Mayor Arturo Flores condemns Gonzalez's video.
Words are important, and so you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it.
While now urging local police to verify identities of those believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity? Am I able to tackle you right now?
Telling officers to pull over those without license plates for possible immigration operations.
If a caravan's coming in to our community, 4 or 5 vehicles, what I expect is for a vetting to happen of who those individuals are.
We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
The vice mayor not returning our calls, but a spokesperson from the city of Cudahy shared this written statement with Fox 11, saying they're aware of recent comments made by Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez on social media. The comments made by the vice mayor reflect her personal views and do not represent the views or official position of the city of Cudahy.
It actually does. It 100% does, because if she's a representation of the city, then you can't then absolve her from being able to be responsible for what she says, because her views are a reflection of the community. It 100% does. It 100% does reflect the views of the community. You can't absolve her from it. You can't absolve her from it. There's no way that you can remove her from her views. If she is a representation of it, then you have to take that into consideration.
We also reached out to every other single city council member here. So far, all we've had back is that one written statement. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So Matthew, say that video has gone viral, and if you've looked at it, have you looked at the comments? Does she respond to people in the comments?
Yeah, the only comments that we've seen from her are on Facebook. The only response at all, really, in that now deleted video. We haven't seen any sort of response from her as this video is gaining national attention in other places like Twitter and on Instagram.
And you've seen the video from beginning to end, Matthew. Is there a really obvious threat? Is she calling for violence?
I mean, an obvious threat. Yeah, it's an obvious threat.
She does mention defending territory. She names those gangs by name. It's up to interpretation, I guess. And that
no, it's not. She said it very bluntly and very clearly. She didn't mince words. She didn't do any of that. She very, very clearly communicated her thoughts, and she said what she said. She said what she said. I think that she should be arrested and she should be held accountable, because anybody else that would do that would be held accountable. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of super chats, and then I'm going to go over to New York really quickly, because I want to talk about New York and what's going on over in New York. Nichelle says, sis is literally putting the target on her back in the hood and professionally dumb as hell. Devil Game, I don't like that name. Devil Games X says, she sounds just like a black woman that likes and uplifts hood dudes and jailbirds. We need to separate ourselves. Hey, you need to change your name, big dog. Crazy P says the Mexican Mafia controls 18th Street and Florencia from prison. Rico is coming soon. Coach says Uncle Anton I'm all for women's rights, but I see why they didn't have it in the first place. That vice mayor should lose her position immediately. Are y'all? All right, before we go over to the next thing, let me ask y'all a question. Are y'all all for women's rights? Is everybody for women's rights in the chat? I just want to know. I want to know before I go over to the next part of the conversation. Is everybody all for women's rights? I know I'm going to catch some flack about this one. How do y'all feel about that? Ooh, I see a lot of no's. I see a lot of no's. Oh, Coco said, hell no. Coco, you said no? Vanessa, you said no too? Rich said it depends. Depends on what? Oh, their right to remain silent, and that's it. Her right to cook and clean. Oh, man. Overwhelmingly, the majority of the thousands of people that are, it's over 3,000, over 3,300 people that's watching this right now on YouTube. And everybody is saying no. The right to shut the hell up. Y'all said repeal the 19th. Let me pull up the 19th. I'm going to read it word for word. The 19th Amendment in the United States Constitution. Ah. Oh, hold on. Wait. I got to read it. I want to read it. I don't want to get a summary of it. I know what it is. Let me read it. 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment guarantees women the right to vote. Achieving this milestone. Well, no. In 1919, the House of Representatives passed an amendment, and 2 weeks later, the Senate followed when Tennessee became the 36th state to ratify the amendment. And on August 18th, 1920, the amendment passed its final hurdle of obtaining the agreement of 3/4 of the states. The Secretary of State, Bainbridge Colby, certified the ratification on August 26, 1920. The campaign for women's suffrage was long, difficult, and sometimes dramatic. The right of citizens of the United States of America to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on the account of sex. On the account of sex. So y'all said appeal the 19th. They said appeal the 19th. Oh, man. Appeal the 19th. All right, let me be quiet. I ain't got nothing to say. All I wanted to do was see what the sentiment is. I know some people is butthurt. Coach says, Anton, I'm all for women's rights. I don't see why I'm all for women's rights, but I don't see why they have it in the first place. That vice mayor should lose her position immediately. Daddy and the Caddy says, no Diddy, but your bald head, no Diddy, but your bald head so shiny and beautiful. What? Oh, I'm not even gonna respond. They needs to make me a sandwich, says Coach. Just showing love, appreciate the content. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down. This is wild, dog. This is absolutely wild. Oh, Zacked Out. Let me read this. Zacked Out says, I am for women's rights to be valued as a contributing human beings in society. I'm against toxic femininity. Repealing the 19th means taxation without representation. You gonna start referring to women as birthing people? Trucking Blueprint says, just supporting the platform. Can't wait to meet the rest of the crew this weekend. Shout out to Trucking Blueprint in the building. I appreciate you. Molly says, y'all don't want women back in the kitchen. How are y'all going to get half of those bills paid? Oh, I'm going to make that the title. We're going to have a strong conversation on Thursday. Thursday night is going to be lit. I'm going to make that the title. I'm going to literally make that the title. I want to have that conversation. All right, let me see what we got going on over here in NY. All right, I want to go over to New York real quick. Because I seen some of y'all results of what y'all had going on over there for the election. And I said, is that what they doing over there?
The results are coming in what could be a real-time referendum on the future of the Democratic Party. Many analysts see New York City's mayoral race as a litmus test between establishment Democrats and the younger, more progressive wing of the party. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Anton, is with us at the table now. Harry, woo, whoa,
earthquake.
Whoa, yeah. Okay, tell us where we are right now.
I mean, look. Mamdani is ahead by plenty at this point. You can see on your screen right there, that's a 7-point lead right now in terms of the first round votes. Now, obviously, New York uses a ranked choice voting system where essentially you eliminate all the candidates, you reallocate their ballots because the folks who get a ballot will rank their candidates 1 through 5, and you essentially reallocate the votes until one candidate gets at least 50%. But I will tell you this, if you look on your screen, you see the third place candidate, Brad Lander, cross-endorsed with Mamdani. Most of his votes are very likely to go to Mamdani, and not a single pre-election poll that I saw had Cuomo getting anywhere near the type of support that he would need once those ballots reallocated. That lead will almost certainly stand up, and that is why I do believe that Cuomo has conceded the Democratic nomination.
And he's called Mamdani to concede, which is extraordinary.
Let me tell you this. I study New York City politics in my entire life. The only New York City primary that I think is tantamount to this in terms of the earthquake is 1989 when David Dinkins came in and defeated Ed Koch, who is running for a 4th term for mayor. That is the type of earthquake that we're seeing here, and he's done it. He came into this race down, 30, 40 points to Andrew Cuomo, the former governor, who everyone thought was a huge favorite.
Who is that woman right there? Is that who I think it is? That's not it's not Joy Reid, is it? Is that Joy Reid? That's not Joy Reid. That's a Joy Reid clone right there. That's a Joy Reid clone. At first, I thought that was Joy Reid. I was thinking to myself, what is Joy Reid doing on CNN after she got fired from MSNBC? Don't worry about it. That's not Joy Reid. It looked like her at first. I'm like, wait a minute. Is my eyes deceiving me?
Apparently not. He did it by activating younger voters, by activating very liberal voters, by cutting into Andrew Cuomo's base with black voters. The bottom line is this. Mamdani is now a force to be reckoned with in Democratic politics nationwide going forward.
Joy, you talked to him on Friday.
We had him on the show on Friday. We also had Brad Lander on.
That is Joy Reid. That's Joy Reid.
Democratic politics nationwide going forward.
Joy, you talked to him
Now we got to go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual.
Sorry about that. Let me get that back up here. I'm sorry. That is Joy Reid.
The results are coming in what could be a real-time referendum on the future of the Democratic Party. Many to him on Friday.
We had him on the show on Friday. We also had Brad Lander on, and Brad Lander talked about being
I didn't realize it until she started talking, and I said, yeah, that's Joy Reid.
tackled by ICE agents as he was trying to defend immigrants. What Mamdani said that I thought was really extraordinary, he would be the first.
Is she auditioning for a new job at CNN because she tried to go independent and she wasn't able to successfully do? I remember when she was actually trying to talk to Don Lemon, and Don Lemon was encouraging her to start her own platform, to go out on her own. She would have it. She would be successful. She was able to do it. Let me see something. Now y'all got me curious now. Joyless Reid is on CNN. I said, what? So she hanging out at all of the liberal networks? I can't believe it. What is she doing over there? What is she doing over there?
Immigrant mayor of the preeminent immigrant capital in the United States, a city that is a sanctuary city where people are still being accosted at their immigration hearings. And so I think just symbolically, I think this is a message about people's revulsion in the treatment of immigrants by this administration, and about the ways in which the Adams administration has been complicit in that.
Can I
think
play
that's
a little
part
bit,
of what's
Joy,
made him
from your
popular.
interview with him, where he talks about this? Let's listen.
You know, I would be the first immigrant mayor of this city in generations, and I would be proud to be that, but even prouder for what I would actually do. This is a city of immigrants. We've said for so long, 40% of New Yorkers were born outside of this country, and yet what we've seen in the current...
All right, so hold on. Let me pull this up for y'all. So this is Joy's channel, all right? So she did start her own platform. So she's promoting her platform. She got the zest man on there, the sassy man on there.
Zohran Mamdani, candidate for New York City mayor with one of your potential constituents. You're here with Tiege. Mr. Mamdani, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm so sorry for the delay in getting on. This is such a pleasure.
I'm gonna let her do the interview, sir, but I already voted. I voted for you. My wife voted for you. We're really excited to see what you do with the city.
Thank you so much. That means the world.
And by the way, I'm glad that I have Tiege on with you, because I understand my wonderful producing staff here has told me that you might have bars, Mr. Mamdani, that you might have been a rapper back in the day. And Tiege, of course, is a hip hop journalist, and that you might have been, you might be the same person that was young Cardamom, and that you might have been inspired by the Wu-Tang Clan. Is this?
This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. So bad. This is so bad, y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This is horrible. This is horrible.
Mayoral administration, and even in Andrew Cuomo's campaign, is an insufficient readiness to actually take on Donald Trump and protect New Yorkers. One of the things we should be proudest of in New York City are our sanctuary city laws. These are laws that have kept New Yorkers safe for decades, been defended by Republicans and Democrats alike for that time period until the demagoguery of this current mayor. I would proudly stand up for those laws.
So he's talking there also about Eric Adams, who we haven't really talked about because he's not in this primary, but is expected to run on another line in the general. This will be an indictment on Eric Adams, too, and his willingness to, I guess, in the words of Mamdani, stand up to Donald Trump.
There's no one happier after Mamdani and his family than Eric Adams tonight, because everyone over 50 years old who remembers Times Square in the 1970s and the 1980s when you couldn't walk through, it was all pornography and crack and muggings and rapes and robberies. Everyone who remembers that is going to vote for Eric Adams. The New York Times, who didn't do an endorsement, did say, please don't vote for Mamdani, as did the Daily News, as did the New York Post. So anybody who knows how bad New York can get all came out against Mamdani, because a 33-year-old with zero experience running anything except a little office with 5 employees should not be running the city of New York.
Donald Trump is president of the United States. His experience was being on The Apprentice. He's head of the Pentagon.
Did she just compare Donald Trump to this 33-year-old kid who's an advocate for socialism. She just compared Donald Trump to, no wonder she got fired. No wonder she got fired and her platform is floundering. Oh my God, this is so dumb. Have y'all not learned y'all lesson? Do y'all not see what's happening over in California, New York? New York, have y'all not learned your lesson? And have you not learned your lesson from what is happening over in Los Angeles and what has happened over these last 4 years where we had liberal and socialist ideas proliferate throughout our nation? Oh my God. Oh God. God. Jesus Christ.
He was a billionaire. Joy,
A weekend anchor on Fox. Are you kidding me? He's got Dr. Oz is in his administration. Dr. Oz,
you're leaving out something.
Me?
He's a 33-year-old.
Dr. Oz is a real doctor. Do you know how accomplished Dr. Oz is as a real doctor?
Who's never run a popsicle stand.
He's literally in city government right now. Sorry, after Donald Trump, I'm sorry, after Donald Trump and his Pinky in the Brain administration, no one ever gets to talk about qualifications.
Socialism will not save the
bottom line is, what I want to ask you a question. What is your evidence that Mamdani would return New York City to the 1970s hellhole Times Square? What is your evidence of
It's very simple. So he wants to raise taxes on people who make the most money. What eventually is going to happen is you're going to lose that tax base.
Facts.
Once you lose that tax base,
100%.
our bonds will get degraded. Now the city budget will not be substantial enough to subsidize not only the cops.
Because they say that 1 out of every 16 or 20 people are millionaires inside of New York City. And so the reason why New York City has been able to survive regardless, despite what's happening in Chicago, because Los Angeles is at $1 billion budget deficit annually. Chicago is at $1 billion budget deficit annually. And that's why they cutting so much in so many services, and everybody is fleeing that state and they're moving to places like Las Vegas and Houston and Dallas and Austin, where they have better tax laws. The minute, I'm telling y'all, listen, the minute that you raise a tax on people that have resources on the largest tax base that then keep you entrenched, is happening in Maryland with Westmore, so on and so forth. The minute that you do it, people are gone. People are gone. They not messing around. People are not afraid to completely remove themselves from wherever it is, which basically erodes your city finances. Socialism does not work. There is no place on earth where socialism is trumping capitalism. In no capacity at all.
But the fire department, the sanitation department, once you start losing Wall Street and people who pay $11,000, $12,000 a month to live on the Upper East Side, you're done. Let me ask you. And you go back to the 70s when Gerald Ford said to New York, drop dead.
Okay, but hold on, Arthur.
Crisis.
But Arthur, just
he
as
cooked.
Somebody
he cooked.
who is just listening to you, you raise the taxes on wealthy people in this city. Maybe a couple percent, right?
They're already at 50%.
Yeah, they're already
53%.
and that's exactly my point.
Why they're
right?
They're already at 50%.
Yeah, they're all.
Imagine, and I know y'all don't get this, but think about this for a second. Imagine you make whatever it is that you make, and you only take home half of what you make. Imagine you make whatever you make, you only get half, because the other half goes, and here's the caveat. It's not even that you're just giving up half. The other half goes to the city to be able to do what they want to do, who has a horrible track record of doing things like supporting illegal migrants and giving them free housing. It goes to supporting illegals and free housing, bro. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. And no way. I don't care how much I make. You did not help me make this money. Why do you get half of my money? Yes, collectively, if Brian, yes. Listen, New York and California, between federal and state, and all of the different taxes, and the taxes don't even end there. You still got to pay congestion pricing. You still got to pay bag taxes. You still got to get rent control. You still got to do this. You still got to do that. You're getting taxed out your eyeballs. Listen, more taxes is never going to be the way. It's never going to be the way. You kill businesses because now businesses is going to want to move out and they're going to go to Miami. They're going to go to Tennessee. They're going to go to all of these places that's more conducive for a business environment. Facts are streets. I had this. Listen, I was talking about this morning. I said, Puerto Rico. The people in Puerto Rico was mad too. We don't give a fuck. We don't care. People in Puerto Rico is mad. They be protesting. When I was talking to a lady, she was like, yes, and that's a big deal because the people that are native to Puerto Rico, they are mad because they don't, and Puerto Rico is, so, yeah, that's cool. That's feel you. Can you just go and get my fruit out of the back kitchen that I ordered, please? That's what the server was telling me. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. I said, where's my eggs at? People in Puerto Rico is mad. Have so many outsiders with all of this money coming in and displacing people and making it an environment where, it's just becoming the land of the rich and they're just taking over and they're raising the prices. That's cool. Can you go get my eggs, please? Because I'm really looking to do that too. That's what we do. We go to places, we raise the prices, we take advantage of the tax laws, and we run up a bag. Okay? That's what y'all doing it to everywhere else across the world. You go to Mexico. I want to go to Mexico because it's cheaper to live. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to this place. I'm going to that place. Y'all don't complain about displacing people when y'all go over there. Y'all go all across the world. Man, I'm a passport, bro. It's cheaper to live. You don't care nothing about what's happening to the people that you're going to displace. Raising the prices, messing up the bag, using your American dollar, and you think that you helping them, you hurting them. You hurting the very people and the environment that you going over there to take advantage of to capitalize. But don't nobody say nothing. Now, we finally got some money and we looking to figure out how to preserve it because we don't need no more Escalades. We got as many Escalades as we need. All right, so now we got to figure out how to preserve this money. I'm going to take Puerto Rico. That's still the United States of America. They still use American dollars. Best place to go. Just talked to my dog, Aristotle, the other day. Don't care. If you don't like it, move. That's what we doing. We're not considering nothing to nobody no more. We just going to take advantage. If you don't like the way that we displace you, move. We raising the prices. We buying you out. Time to go. Time to go. I was hearing some people talking about gentrification in Detroit. That's the part, because we got a mayoral race right now in Detroit. What about, man, do you know this city is so big you can fit 7 San Franciscos in it? Go over there to Southwest Detroit. Downtown is over. It's no longer affordable to poor people. We got free transportation for you to come in and work and free transportation for you to go back out. And then we going to continue to spread all throughout the city. Sherwood Forest, prices is booming. Boston Edison District, prices is booming. Right? We running it up. It's over. We not dealing with what about the people that's been here? I know y'all was smoking crack downtown. The buildings was dilapidated. We changing things. Everything is different now. Different zip code, different money. We gentrifying everything. It's my time now. If you don't like it, move to Middle America, Annapolis. It's plenty of places to move to if you want to live in poverty and you want to make sure that you keep the culture the way it is. I like artists. I like regular people. I don't. I like lattes. I like grilled cheese, gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches, and avocado toast. I want it all. I want everything. We got Highland Park right up the street. Hamtramck is over there. Southwest, you can go to Zug Island if you want to. But right here, we making it happen. Make it happen. Don't come to don't turn our Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is ours now. We going everywhere. Ain't nowhere you can go where we can't go. Puerto Rico is mine. I was in Puerto Rico like, Me, supposed to just gotta take you into consideration when I start having to do that. That's not what we do here. That's why I don't understand why y'all voting for a socialist.
53%.
And that's exactly my point.
What up, Jess?
They're already paying some of the high. I know, Arthur, but Arthur, they are already paying right at this moment some of the highest taxes in the country. And you think that 1 or 2% is going to cause a mass exodus out of New York?
Absolutely.
It already has started.
I just want to be clear that that's what you're saying, because I think that seems pretty extreme.
Because he's also not going to focus on crime. Right now, you have Police Commissioner Tisch and John Chell, the chief of the department. Crime in the city of New York right now is set to break all records as the lowest ever in recorded history for shootings and murders. Once that starts going up in the other direction, and the tax base is gone, and sanitation is gone, and schools are gone.
Hold on.
I've never heard a group of people argue for higher taxes, and this is egregious. This is so dumb.
Last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you in. Under Eric Adams, crime did go up in the city.
And then went down.
Yes, but
that was during the pandemic. And migrants.
Exactly. But I'm just being clear. Crime has already gone up in New York, and it has come down. So even when crime went up in New York, there was perhaps some departure, but there was not a collapse of the tax base in New York City. Okay, Anna, go ahead.
Okay, so I am not a New Yorker. I live in Miami, where we don't have 50% tax rate.
I've already
we have our share of insane elections and insane politicians. But this reminded me. You talked about the Dinkins election. To me,
does frequent storms worry you about Puerto Rico? Nope. You know why? You know why frequent storms don't worry me about Puerto Rico? Because there's bro, you get you a Tesla Powerwall. You get you all of that stuff. Listen, when you got money, you can solve for that. You're not dependent. You're not 100% dependent on the grid in order for you to survive. We now have the level of technology. Let me go ahead and minimize myself on this. We now have the level of technology that will allow for us to adjust for any circumstance now. Any circumstance. Solar, grids, power walls, all that stuff. I just activated what's the name of that thing? My Tesla thing, my Starlink. I got the Starlink right there. So right over there, I got my Starlink. About to turn it on today. Maybe tomorrow. I got to go pick up my truck today. I'm going to turn it on today. Yeah, there ain't no state taxes in Florida. That's a fact. Turning it on today. I think I'm about to just be, that's my number one. My number one goal is to avoid giving any additional money to somebody who didn't earn it. Any additional money to somebody that didn't earn it. A. Dunn says, well, what about the hurricanes? That's why you only live there for 6 months, baby. Hurricane season stops in October, November. Then that's when the cold comes up here. That's when you go down there for 6 months. November, December, January, February, March, April. By the time you get back in May on the 7th month, spring is here. We good. We good. Spring is here. 100% spring is here. We out of there, baby. We are gone. We don't want to be a part of anything whatsoever. I don't want to be a part of that foolishness. New York, y'all some fools. New York been fooling for a long time. Let me read some of these super chats. Cuddy in the building says, Hey, Anton, did you see where Jasmine Crockett landed? Last place in votes for the House Oversight Committee. Her own party does not take her seriously. Yeah, but she's still on tour, though. All she wants is a job. She ain't trying to have no impact. Unemployment office read with the struggle streaming. Joy Reid be struggle streaming. You know what I laugh at? Let me tell you what I laugh at. I laugh when people start failing on social media that thought that they was the stuff, but they was maybe on a national platform, or people think that they could just come into the game and just do whatever it is that they do. I laugh when they really start pulling out all of the stops. They get all of their friends. They tap into all of their different people. Hey, I want to have you on my show and stuff like that, but they can't sustain it on their own. And even when they get their friends on there, sometimes it don't even hit. There are a lot of people struggle streaming out here trying to figure it out. They don't know how to make money. That's because they're not a part of the bag chasers. They don't know how to make no money. I laugh. Never trust a bald head beach with the sand on top. I laugh. I do. People be going out there trying to get all of their friends, and listen. You just not you don't have it. You don't have it. People that have over 1 million subscribers, I'm broke. I'm so broke. I gotta shop at H&M. I don't know. I mean, I got it in handbags. I got it in jewelry, but I'm broke. They try to pull out all of the stops. All of the stops. I made up in my mind. I said it on my vlog the other day on the Darth Anton channel. I said, man, if I interview somebody, or if I bring somebody on the platform, it's just going to be because I want to. It ain't going to be for no kind. Like, I don't care if we create the content, cool. I flew down and I kicked it with Aristotle, and we went to dinner. We had a good time. We chilled. We hung out. We partied and all of that stuff. And then we flew back. We didn't even create no content. We was just chilling. If I interview somebody, it's going to be because I want to. It's going to be because we just got good vibes. I'm more focused on putting my friends on and focusing all of my energy on the people that's on after hours and bringing different people in that I discover on Monday night's platform and finding new women and finding new content. Like, I'm all about the bag chasers. I don't care nothing about nobody. That's the honest to God truth. Anybody that wind up coming into the sphere, then that's, it's like, that's who I'm focused on. But I don't care about no celebrities. I don't care about no outsiders. I don't care about none of that. Now, that don't mean that they're not cool. And it don't mean that they don't serve a purpose and that we can't create some good content and stuff like that. But if we not just organically vibing or something like that, I don't care about that. I'd rather focus on Mika and 2K and Slimmy and Q Diddy. I'd rather focus on Island Girl Q and build it with my team. I'd rather focus on Yakar, Azriel, and all of the people that's a part of it. Man, I don't need no outsiders. We good with the way that we rock. I'd rather focus on Molly. I'd rather focus on Kim. I'd rather focus on all of Carrie. I'd rather focus on my own. I got my own people that I'm working on. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about no famous rappers. I don't care about none of that. Honest to God, that's the honest to God truth. So if I wind up doing with somebody, it's just going to have to be spirit of moment, organic, and it's just going to have to be real. But we good. We got our own motion. We got our own ecosystem. We got our own economy. We make sure that we give the information to the bag chasers and we run it up. It's got to be organic. I ain't focused on nobody else. I don't care about nobody else. Yo, and I told somebody this the other day. They said, Anton, somebody hit me up and they said, dog, I can get you this big person. I talked to him and it's a massive, massive person. And I was like, It was a girl that called me, and the girl was like, yo, I got linked up and I'm connected to this and that, this and that. I was like, I don't care. Honest to God. I'm not starstruck. And it ain't nothing wrong with him, and I'm cool with that. And, it's cool, but I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I'm more focused on my own people. I'm not moving on nobody else's time. I'm not trying to figure out how I can fit in. I don't want to go to your shows. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't care nothing about that. I only care about my own friends and my own people. Honestly, I just didn't care. Maybe I was just being extra at the time, but I genuinely didn't care, bro. We gonna get it on our own. We gonna get it on in our own way, you know? Absolutely. Don't care at all. We got clavicles, facts, J-Ben, talk about that shit. We got our own tribe. We gonna shut that bitch down in DC this weekend. I guarantee you. We got the rooftop. We got the downstairs. It's going to be crazy. Last time I was in DC, we shut that motherfucker down. This weekend, it's going to be crazy. Crazy. We got clavicle, side gaps, and Wagoneer files, and spare room 9 helmets. We good. We going to be in our own little lane. We straight. Need no help? Don't need nobody. We got everybody we need right within our own little sphere. If I do an interview, they gonna have to come to me and say, "Hey man, can I get on the platform?" It's not gonna be me doing the other thing around. I'm not reaching out to nobody. Anybody that I wind up doing any kind of content with that's on the outside, they gonna have to come here. I'm not going to them no more. That's it. It's over. Joint bag chasers link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What we talking about? Let's talk about something else, y'all. What we talking about? What's happening out here in these streets? Let's pick a subject without anything planned. Let me see what's happening. I'm going to talk about something money related. What's out here? What's out here money related? What's happening with the money side? What y'all want to talk about money related? What's happening money related? Tell me something money related. Diddy's charges were dropped? Who told you that? Let me go see for myself. I haven't seen anything about that. I don't know where you got that from. Oh, prosecutors dropped some charges. Yeah, they dropped the state charges. The federal is still there. I think they're negotiating, honestly. Stocks hit an all-time high. Facts. Shout out to everybody that took advantage of the downturn like I told them to. Intel layoffs. All right, let's talk about that. Let me go and see what's happening. What's happening? UC San Diego Health announced layoffs. Lockheed Martin announced layoffs in upstate. Gateway Church announced layoffs. Denver is looking at substantial layoffs amid budget deficit. Let me go into that. Let's see what's happening in Denver. Let's go there. Let's go to Denver. Let's start there. Let's talk about layoffs. All right. 6. Why is this not showing? Here, let's do this. Let's do it like this.
I think what's abundantly clear is that layoffs are happening this year. Whatever decision we make, layoffs are happening at a large scale, right?
Yes, otherwise we would not be here. They are absolutely happening, and they're going to be substantial.
You're just hearing there for the first time the city of Denver acknowledging mass layoffs. This at the city's Career Service Board meeting this afternoon, where the board members are now considering new rules for laying off and firing tenured employees.
Denver 7's Brandon Richard shows what the changes will mean going forward and is listening to the community as they voice their frustrations.
Well, last month Mayor Johnston said that layoffs would be likely because of this budget deficit, but today city leaders said those layoffs are not just likely, but they will happen.
They're going to be substantial. I don't know numbers because they don't know.
On Wednesday, Denver city leaders acknowledged that layoffs will occur this year as the city struggles to deal with a projected $250 million budget deficit.
There's no service that we can really cut.
I told y'all, I warned y'all, I said it, I had a conversation with y'all, I said it. I said that every last one of these cities, all of these sanctuary cities, the only reason, look, this is why you don't want to have a socialist mindset, why you don't want to have socialism, that collective tax the rich, distribute everything equally, focus more on a collective bargaining, collectively starting to negotiate and distributing resources, more welfare and all of this stuff. You can't operate like that. It's not sustainable. And so when you see what's happening at all of these big cities and small cities, Denver is going to have an annual budget deficit. And you are going to continuously see cities like this, sanctuary cities, large cities, whatever. They're going to be laying off employees, and people are going to be the ones that pay for the bad decisions and mismanagement of politicians because they don't have a business mindset. The Department of Government Efficiency should exist throughout the United States of America. Everybody should be asking for the Department of Government Efficiency to come into their cities and cut, find out where we got the bloat, cut. And now people are sitting there frustrated. Sanitation, water, electrical, city services. They gonna have to, and you know what they gonna do? They gonna replace you with AI. This is what's gonna happen. Let me tell you how it works. They're gonna start cutting city services. And then they're going to pay people like me that have a big firm that knows to go in and knows how to manage a city effectively. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do something. And it's not going to be me, but it may be somebody like me. They'll go in and hey, I got this great company. I can actually save you guys money. Well, how do you save us money? Well, I have this technology that will allow for you to work more efficiently. Natural attrition should be something that you embrace. You don't have to bring people more on board, and that you can then pitch it to your constituents that you're going to avoid layoffs, when in reality, you're just not replacing people while at the same time cutting salaries, this and that, so on and so on. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a proposal based off of a company that I have, and then I'm going to leverage AI in order to replace your job. And then the city is going to continue to have natural attrition, and people are going to run away and they're going to leave because of the crime is so high. And then the essential services that you have to have, those are then going to suffer. So when I say essential services, fire, police department, sanitation, those are essential. Police officers is already down. So now they're going to start to have police officers move away from the neighborhoods, and y'all going to have to start self-policing, which then crime raises. But then they're going to be able to pass it through you guys and say, hey, look, crime is actually down. No, it's just underreported because they don't show up, or they're going to do some kind of finesse where they report crime differently, or they recategorize it. So when you compare it against the years before, it's going to say, oh no, crime is down. But the real lived experiences of the people, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer. I already gave some game inside of the Patreon on AI and how you can leverage it, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here. But my point is that, do you see that guy in that Pittsburgh Steelers hat right there? That is going to be you. All you liberals, you see the other guy right there that got his hair with the blonde streak in it? That's you. That's you. That's you. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever.
And 90% of our budget is personnel. So
90% of our budget is personnel. What does that mean? Opportunity to cut jobs. 90% of their budget goes to people. I can go into Denver and run that city like a slick business, Fortune 500 company. I can go in and run Denver like a Fortune 500 company. 90% of the budget. That means of all of the tax resources that y'all pay, these egregious amount of taxes is people. You're giving it to mayors and assistants and city council members and sanitation workers and people that say that they're essential employees and all of that. That is where 90% of the budget goes. So guess what? Guess when they have to keep the budget in line. When they have to fill that $250 million gap, it has to come from that 90%. Hello?
Hey, Anton, Aaron with Huntington Cleaners.
Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
I reset your PIN. I don't know if you got to the locker yet.
Okay, the locker is what? Three what? Yep, I got it. I know what it is. Okay, you reset it to that? All right, cool. I appreciate you. All right, bye. The people got to suffer.
Layoffs.
When y'all vote wrong, when y'all make bad decisions, when you think that you're supporting an administration, when y'all out there protesting for illegal migrants and the resources that go to it, you're protesting for your own demise and for your own layoffs and for your own jobs and for your own resources to be used on things that's not best for you.
They say it's too soon.
And think about it. The city spent hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal migrants.
They say how many people will be laid off, but they hope to streamline the process when that time comes. And when it comes to determining who gets laid off, the city wants to move away from a system that protects employees who've been with the city for a long time and move towards a merit-based system.
Oh, so you want to start embracing Trump's perspective. When Trump says that, remember, hold on. Wait a minute. Nobody cares about seniority. Nobody cares about diversity, equity, and inclusion. When the money run out, now we got to go merit-based. Okay, wait a minute. Who actually is doing a job that brings resources and that is essential that we need in order to keep the city government running? So wait a minute. When the budget get low, even y'all that protested against Trump, the city that wanted to turn against Trump the most, now y'all want to go into a merit-based system? Say it ain't so. Oh, wait, remember when they was protesting against Trump when he said, hey, listen, Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk, hey, we got to go to a merit-based system, our universities, merit-based systems, government, merit-based systems. Now, all of a sudden, everybody want to go merit-based systems. Wait a minute, it's about the people that actually is good at what they do and is good at their job. It's not based off of what? Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Many longtime city employees and union leaders don't like the proposed rule change.
It is subjective rather than objective, and it's we see this as a means of eliminating critics, eliminating career rivals, and just advancing people based on the boss's personal opinion of you.
Listen, buddy, I like your Under Armour shirt, all right? I like that fanny pack that you got going on. I like your glasses. It looks like you're working with the beard. This is given 55, 56, 57. You're at the end of your rope, buddy. Time to get a new job. Government jobs were largely for people that wanted to protect themselves and insulate themselves from what usually happens in corporate America. A merit-based system, at-will employees We don't give a fuck about your union. Time for you to go ahead and hit the unemployment line, big dog. Go and talk to your wife. Don't talk to me. Go and talk to your wife. Don't talk to me. We don't want to hear it. Time to go. Time to hit the unemployment line, big dog. Now he going to be making a YouTube video talking about, oh my God, they have age discrimination out here. Time to go. If you not valuable, and I know this type of guy. This is a Kamala Harris voter if I've never seen it before in my life.
The city walked back its initial proposal that removed protections for longtime city employees. Now it says seniority can still be considered, but it will be one of many factors in determining who gets laid off.
Instead, they're calling it years of service will be considered along with many other factors in retaining employees, which is completely arbitrary.
The proposed rule change must first be approved by the Career Services Board. They took public comment on Wednesday and will hold a public hearing on July 1st.
Shout out to Denver. Shout out to y'all, and I want to see the mayor address this. I want to see the mayor address this. Yeah. Gig work for you, buddy. Gig work for you, buddy. And I don't like to see people lose their jobs, but at the same time, you get what you voted for. All of these same people was against Trump. All of these same people was out there protesting until it came to your job. Now you feeling some type of way about it. Nope. This is what we've done. This is what we had to deal with in corporate America. We've been dealing with it. At will employee. Nope. But on the bright side, usually when you become unemployed, that's when you start getting into the gym. That's when you start focusing on your well-being, your health. Because you ain't got nothing else better to do. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get the money that makes it so hard for you to get out and do the things that you're supposed to do. Now you can start focusing. In between calls, in between Uber Eats, you do some push-ups. Nothing like, it's warm outside. Get out and walk. Spend more time in your car. You needed to make extra money anyway. This car was just sitting in the driveway. Might as well go and make some money with it, right? It is what it is. Hands on your knees. Anyways, I have a car to go and pick up today. That was a great segment. That was a phenomenal segment. I love it when liberals get a taste of their own medicine. I love it. Read Super Chat shortly. Manuel AG says, born and raised and live in New York. I don't like any of these people. Well, y'all can vote for Eric Adams. He'll probably win. NYC voted for Matt Murdock. Y'all got a weird primary system. Mr. Joe says, if Mondani wins the mayoral seat, will you still think NYC is too big to fail? No, I won't think I don't think it's too big to fail. I think it's much more difficult for them to ruin it because they generate so much revenue. Chris Cunningham with the 20 ball. Thank you, Chris Cunningham says, I used to live in New York. People who live in the city get hit 3 times federal tax, state tax, and city tax. God forbid you on child support. I used to live on Long Island, which is a standard and state and federal tax. NY taxes are high. LT 4144 says, AD, have you considered the new Corvette ZR1X? Not yet. You got to wait at least a year and a half. The reason that you got to wait a year and a half is because you got to wait till the dealers stop doing dealer markups. You know why I like Porsche? I like Porsche because the Porsche dealership that I go to, they sell it to you at the retail price. They don't mark it up. They don't add any extra on it because you get a 911 or something like that. They just show you love. You get it, you trade it in, or you build it or whatever. You buy it, they call it a day, and they show you some love. So you got to wait at least a year or so before you actually get it because the dealer markups is insane, bro. The dealer markups is not right. You're welcome, by the way, for that start. I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you, my friend. Ooh, got it right there. Carrington Love Jr. says the show has gotten better in the last 45 days. For real, you on a new level of freestyle, Anton. I'm on it. I've learned that everything can't be so pre-programmed. You have to kind of go with the flow of what the sentiment of the people is talking about or what the flow of the show is. So you can prepare, you have all of your stuff, you have all of that stuff. But I think that when you start to get really good at content creation and talking and going in improv and off the cuff, you have to start trusting yourself to kind of move with the flow of whatever the show is going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm enjoying it. I enjoy my live streams. David Deacon Little says, why is it always broke and unhinged people campaign for socialism? Shout out to you, AD. You've been a huge inspiration, brother. Thank you, my friend. Bridget, what up, Bridget? Bridget says, thanks for the daily motivation. I got you, baby. I got you, baby. Chad for Morris is in the building, says, don't get that director position, but it didn't get the director position, but it put a battery in my back to keep aiming for the higher roles, learn, adjust, and carry out. A lot of us like to go parallel. When y'all go on these job boards or when y'all looking for a position, most of the time people then go with something that they're comfortable doing or that they have experience in doing. Y'all got to start going for the bigger jobs. Start interviewing for the bigger jobs. I'm telling you, you are qualified, but when you go into these conversations, understand that the majority of it is going to be whether or not you're a cultural fit and whether or not you actually are management material. Level up material. Don't go in there with your technical expertise. Well, I'm not about to get y'all no Patreon game right now. Shout out to you, Chad from Morris. I like that. Eric Williams says, Anton, I said 20 years ago when I used to come over to the D from Grand Rapids and hang out on the weekends, they was going to gentrify the city. Yeah, I love it. I love what's happening in the city. NYC grocery store chain, Grisettis CEO said he's going to close stores if Mandani wins. He wants to create a city-controlled grocery. Yeah, I seen that. I had that on my bingo card, but we'll cover that tomorrow. I had to actually cover the election itself. Is Stock Club still happening next week? It is. It is. It is. They are going to sell the police to OCP like RoboCop. Abe the Hunter says, in zombie movies, there is always a group that wants to give out the supplies freely. The other group understands to conserve and the remaining supplies. Facts, I agree. We got to turn the Diddy. Prosecutors might drop major charges against them. Well, they already dropped the state charges. I think that Diddy is going to walk, and I'm going to celebrate. Take that. Shout out to my dog, David Pastranos. I appreciate you for the super sticker. I appreciate everybody that contributes into the platform. Somebody said, Anton, I think Charlotte is up next. The county manager makes nearly $500,000. My friends complaining about the prop taxes, and I told them Dems are running it up. Yeah, I wonder what happened to Tiffany Henyard. How's Tiffany Henyard out here doing, y'all? How's Tiffany Henyard? Is she doing well? Shout out to Rand Wilson. I appreciate you. And also Cedric Johnson. Thank you for contributing on the platform on Cash App. We popping. We got it. Sarah, what up, Sarah? What you talking about? Tell me what your thoughts are, Sarah. Says, trying to become an accountant, will be in school for MSA soon. How or what entry-level job should I get then? Thank you for everything that you do. I don't think that, well, an accountant is a decent, I think that when you get into it, you should get into an internship. Once you get into an internship, it is a greater possibility that they will hire you in, and you don't have to worry about necessarily being entry level. Your entry level position will be the internship. So you can also work for a lot of state government agencies and stuff like that that'll actually hold you down. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Dang, I ain't got no live stream tonight. I feel naked. What am I gonna do? Cause I ain't live streaming tonight. I did 3 live streams yesterday. I ain't got no live stream on a Wednesday night. I feel naked, y'all. Yeah, AI is affecting accounting, but I think that y'all should go into like prompt engineer, machine learning, but I'm not gonna get into that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what to do with myself. I ain't got no live stream tonight. So naked. Do an impromptu live stream. If I do an impromptu live stream, I'll let y'all know on Twitter. So follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. I will let you know. You will get the first notification on if I do an impromptu live stream. All right. Go skating. I'll go skating on Saturday nights. Skating is Saturday nights, big dog. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to go pick up this car. Peace.